If you're feeling like you totally missed the AI boat because you didn't snag NVIDIA stock back in 2023, let me tell you something. That was just the warm-up act. That was the infrastructure phase. The real gold rush, the part where things actually get built and used, is happening right now in 2026, and you are not late.
In fact, you're not even in the race yet. You're standing at the starting line. And this right here, this is the reality check. For all the noise, for all the hype, recent studies show that only a tiny 4% of businesses have actually fully automated their workflows. You see that massive 96% slice? That's not a gap. That, my friends, is the entire playing field.
And what a playing field it is. We are on a collision course with a global AI market that's projected to hit $1.3 trillion by 2030. Think about that for a second. Almost nobody is using this stuff yet, but the market is set to be absolutely colossal. That massive gap between potential and reality, that is the arbitrage opportunity of our lifetime.
So how do you seize it? Well, you need a playbook, and that's what we're doing here. We're going to cover 5 critical chapters. The great recalibration that's happening as we speak, the agentic AI shift that's fueling it all, 3 clear paths to making money, the exact tech stack you'll need, and finally, the big one, how you build your digital equity in this new economy.
All right, let's kick it off with Section 1, the Great Recalibration. The market is growing up. We are officially past the phase of just playing around with AI toys. Now, we're in an outcome-driven world where AI isn't an experiment, it's a mission-critical part of the business.
And this is the single most important pivot you need to understand. We are moving away from generative AI, the chatbots that can talk and create stuff, to what we call agentic AI. This is software that doesn't just talk, it does. It takes action. And trust me, that distinction changes everything.
Which leads us perfectly into Section 2, the Agentic AI shift. So let's break down what this new kind of AI really is, and more importantly, why it's creating so much economic value right this very second. So an AI agent, it's basically an autonomous system. It follows this really simple but incredibly powerful loop. It perceives what's going on, it reasons about how to hit a goal, and then it actually takes action to get the job done, all without you needing to micromanage it. You can just think of it as your first digital employee.
And this slide just illustrates the difference perfectly. A chatbot, it's basically read-only, right? It tells you stuff based on what it's learned. But an AI agent, it has read and write access. It has permission to use tools. It can actually log into your CRM, draft a contract, shoot off an email to a client, and even process a payment, all without you lifting a finger.
This exact shift from just passive conversation to active execution is why Bill Gates himself declared that the age of AI has truly begun. We're going from just fetching information to actually completing tasks at a massive scale.
And the best part of all, the barrier to entry has completely collapsed. We're in this new era of vibe coding. You don't need a computer science degree anymore. You just need a goal. You use plain English to tell these new platforms what you want, and they build the code for you. Your ability to delegate is now way more valuable than your ability to code.
Okay, so let's move on to Section 3, because this is where it gets really interesting. This is the monetization playbook. I'm going to show you the 3 most profitable ways to cash in on this agentic shift right now in 2026. The first one, and probably the most accessible, is the AI Automation Agency, or AAA. The model is so simple and it's wildly effective. First, you audit a client's business to find all the manual, time-sucking bottlenecks. Then, you build custom agents to automate them away. And finally, you support that new system for a sweet, recurring monthly retainer.
And the money here is just phenomenal. A traditional marketing or dev agency might be happy with a 45% margin. AI agencies, they're hitting 75%, sometimes even higher. And why is that? Because your main employee, the AI, does all the heavy lifting and works for pennies. We're seeing people charge anywhere from $5,000 to $20,000 for the initial setup, plus those juicy monthly retainers for just keeping the lights on.
Okay, the second path is all about specialization. Look, general-purpose AI is becoming a commodity. The real money is in solving very specific, very expensive niche problems. I mean, think about it. An agent that just handles new patient onboarding for dentists, or one that does compliance reviews for law firms. These vertical agents solve a huge pain point, and they can command some serious premium prices.
And finally, Model 3, the AI safety net.
Big companies are rolling out agents like crazy, but they are absolutely terrified of things going wrong. AI making stuff up, lawsuits, breaking regulations. This fear has created a massive opportunity for what we call observability. You build the service that acts as the guardrails. You monitor the AI's decisions, make sure it's compliant, and basically act as a safety net. And believe me, enterprises will pay a fortune for that peace of mind.
So you're probably asking, okay, how do I actually build any of this stuff? Well, that brings us to Section 4, your 2026 tech stack. This is what I'm calling the God-tier toolkit for building out your digital workforce.
So for orchestration, you've got tools like N8N, which is amazing for secure, self-hosted workflows. Then there's Vellum, which lets you build super reliable agents just using plain English. For getting data and finding customers, a tool like Clay can literally automate your sales prospecting while you sleep. And for building the dashboards to control your new robot army, Retool AI lets you spin up internal apps like it's nothing.
And that all brings us to our final section, building your digital equity. Because what we're really talking about here isn't just a new piece of tech. It's a fundamental split in the way our economy works.
The economy is literally splitting in two. On one side, you have the old way, renting out your time for a wage. You trade hours for dollars. On the other side, you have the new way, building digital equity. This means you're creating fleets of digital agents that work for you around the clock, generating value even when you're not there. You're building an army of digital workers that you own.
Look, this agentic shift has created the single biggest opportunity of our generation. That window of opportunity is wide open right now in 2026. So the only question left to ask yourself is this. In this new economy, are you going to be the person who just uses these systems, or are you going to be the one who architects them?